What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more of the Tragically Hip, and as always, big thank you to Yvonne for introducing me to the Tragically Hip and for sharing their material. Are you coming up, Luca? She's thinking about it. But yes, we're jumping over Escape is at Hand for the Traveling Man, because I already reacted to that as part of the Your Favorites compilation. So the final tune on Phantom Power 1998 is Emperor Penguin. I remember there was some confusion for me as to whether I had reacted to this, because there was a reaction where I had talked about Emperor Penguins. Nevertheless, as Yvonne rightly noted to me that I have not reacted to this track, excise that from that sentence to keep my parallel structure. But yeah, it's a big penguin. I think actually technically the largest type of penguin, and I'm not sure if it's an apex or like keystone species in its environment, though that would be my suspicion. But yes, penguins are almost exclusively in the southern hemisphere, so that does give us a geographical reference point, though of course Emperor Penguin, in terms of the specific species, or maybe even penguins more broadly, could be functioning here as a metaphor. I'm inclined to see it more literally, or at least part of the meaning being more specific, in part because a lot of Tragically Hip songs have historical or cultural or specific reference points, even if they're part of a more narrative tableau. I'm annoying myself with how pretentious that sounds, so let's listen to the song. This is the Tragically Hip. The tune is Emperor Penguin, and it's the final track on their 1998 album, Phantom Power.
Like the tone of your trumpet, come on and spill some paint. Let's raise a glass of milk to the end of another day, into the kiss that's still intangible. Kids are alright, just unmanageable. They won't do a damn thing, you say. The voice is all detached on a radio wave breeze. We have another caller with a bachelor degree. Talking alien invasion is the only chance for you to do. Sorry to interrupt your caller, but it's a physical impossibility. That's a physical impossibility. That's a physical impossibility. You'd be tossed
I wonder, were there keyboards in that track? It felt like there were some like pad chords in there that weren't necessarily from a guitar, even though most of the Sonics had that alternative meets folk rock sound. I do like the lyricism of the more, what's the right term, like calm guitar work in the track. There was sort of a mellow guitar groove. Now in the latter half, that one guitar line got very epic and high pitched, and that gave it a bit more intensity, but the tune overall had a very lyrical and warm feel to it. Speaking of lyrics, I'm not sure what to take away. I caught bits and pieces and not enough to really get a sense, and I wonder if there is a clear, coherent narrative, or again, if there's been bits and pieces and phrases and concepts sort of drawn together that would have to be thought about and digested rather than just, a clear story. But again, I heard reference to literal emperor penguins, I think, whose women have to swim to them from like half an ocean away, but then also something about like people with bachelor degrees and talking about an alien invasion, which I took in sort of a sci-fi sense. So yeah, it seems like there's some lines that are all over the place, and I don't quite know how they all come together, but I do enjoy Gord's vocals. At first it was like they were kind of pulsing, like they were coming out in the same rhythm, not like speak singing, not like, verbal poetry, but almost like they were sort of these ripples, these like shock waves of vocal delivery. And then of course, as the song went along, he did some of that, melodic fluctuation and extension that I have come to know he does quite well. And at this point, I do want to once again apologize to Yvonne. I've been meaning to get back to that Tragically Hip last concert. My idea was to go through it song by song and sort of digest it, but I really would like to do the full thing now to catch up with it. I just recently did a Take That concert watch along, and it was sort of like, number one, it was great to do it all in one, and number two, I had been meaning to get to it for a while, and so doing it in full kind of felt like, it was the right thing to do because I had been waiting for it for so long. This feels the same with that Tragically Hip concert, the final concert. Now, again, there may be songs in that concert that I have not heard either on Your Favorites or Phantom Power, and in that regard, I'll be catching up, and I'll be, sort of experiencing some of them for the first time, so I may not, have a pre-existing sense of, what to expect for a given song in that concert. But once we get to the holiday period, I would like to do that because it is overdue. So thank you for the patience, Yvonne, and to all of you out there like Todd and others, and Ryan, David, if you're still out there. I will continue through the Tragically Hip and do that concert. Now, having said that, I don't know what might be available or what might be the next step for the audio journey, so we'll deal with that when the time comes. But once again, shout out to all the Hip fans out there. R.I.P. to Gord. Thank you again to Yvonne. Let me know what you think, and I will see you for the next one. Peace.